Lovely campus at Rowan County, Rowan College, Burlington County, which we affectionately refer to within the county as RCBC. This campus, and this room in particular, carries a meaningful significance to me. As the first assistant indicated, she was like, "Is this where you had your swearing in?" And I was like, "Yes, it is." And that was almost 3 years ago to the day. And so now I have the distinct honor of, very briefly, I'm told, because we want to hear mostly from you and not from me, of introducing the 62nd Attorney General of the great state of New Jersey. And during my tenure as prosecutor, Attorney General Matthew Platkin has worked tirelessly to protect the rights of citizens in New Jersey. That has been my experience. Whether in the realm of civil rights, reducing gun violence, advocating for victims of crime, consumer protection, or enhancing our law enforcement responses to mental health crisis through the Arrive Together program. In addition, he's been an ally for everyone. People who don't look like him, walk like him, pray like him, talk like him, love like him. And that is what I have admired from afar. Now, he has launched this trust commission to build public confidence by rooting out corruption, enhancing transparency, and making recommendations for strengthening trust in state government. And that's what we're here for. I had some preliminary conversations with a few of you before I went to the back, and the comments were, we need more, we want to comment about more, and so that's what you're here for to do today. And that's what we as public officials are here to follow up on. So I'm excited to hear from you, to hear what you have to say, your public comments and recommendations, and it is my honor to announce that the next voice you will hear will be none other than our Attorney General, Matthew Platkin.
Good evening. I want to thank Prosecutor Bradshaw for that incredible introduction. And for those of you who are from Burlington County, you should know you're extraordinarily well served here. She does, and her office does an amazing job. And she's a leader across the county prosecutors now on many, many issues. So I'm just extraordinarily grateful. And I really appreciate everybody coming out tonight. One thing I'm grateful for is the air conditioning works very well in this room. So at least in that sense, we've spared you hopefully what it still says is 99-degree heat out there. I'm going to be brief because, as Lucia said, I want to hear from you. I just want to give you just really quickly a sense of why we're here, and we're joined by 3 members of the Trust Commission, which I'll talk more about, who I want to make sure you know who they are from left to right. Judge Neefsey, Judge Ed Neefsey, who's a retired judge and has had more roles over the course of his career in public service than I think I could we'd probably be here all night, Judge, if I was listing all of every aspect of the criminal justice system, and somebody who continues to set an example of integrity in public service. Just very grateful for him being here. Next to his right, Justice Virginia Long, who was most recently a justice of the state Supreme Court, following an extensive career as a state Superior Court and then appellate division judge, as well as a public servant in state government service, and a prominent attorney in private practice. And you're going to hear me say this for all 3 of them, they are just examples of integrity in public service. And then someone who I've admired for a very long time, Jeanine LaRue, who in most circles needs no introduction, and has worn far too many hats for me to say, but is the best thing I can say is in and around Trenton. She's sort of a moral conscience, I find her to be, that you seek her opinion on things, knowing you're going to get told the truth, and knowing you're going to get told the right truth, not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. She is she's been a public servant and a part of the Trenton and broader state community for a very long time. I don't know that there's anybody more respected in Trenton than Jeanine. And that goes for all 3 of them. And they are 3 representatives of a 12-member commission that we stood up earlier this year. And unlike I know many of you probably feel the way I do. You start a commission, these commissions tend to exist in perpetuity. That's not what this commission is meant to do. I created it for a very specific purpose, which is to put together in a short period of time a set of ideas and recommendations for how we can use the authority we have or make recommendations for new authorities to address what I believe is the most critical challenge facing our communities, our state, and perhaps even our country, which is a crisis of confidence in government and a sense that government doesn't work for the people that it serves. And I think if we dismiss that concern, we do it at our own peril for our democracy. And I can't say we can fix every problem. I'm not pretending that. I can't say we're perfect. I'm not pretending that either. But I do think it's important that we listen to you all and the concerns you have, and that we take them back to our commission, which we have said, which over the past 6 months has been doing exactly what we're asking you to do, to think about a variety of ways we can strengthen our response to this challenge. And then ultimately, in short order, we will be putting out a report that makes a series of recommendations that hopefully will contribute to meaningful change. And look, I think we've all seen challenges. This perception is not wrong. It shouldn't be dismissed. The New York Times ran a poll not too long ago which asked Americans what they thought was the biggest threat to American democracy. And the answer was not Russia or China or social media or Iran. It was corruption, just ordinary, run-of-the-mill corruption. And, I've spoken about this, but I spend time with students at Trenton Central High School every month, and I spoke to them shortly after last election, and that was their message back to me. And I thought about the fact that when I was 17 or 18 and voting in my first election, that wouldn't have been what I would have said if the Attorney General, if I even knew who he or she was. I'm sure by then I had no idea what an Attorney General was. But that wouldn't have been how I would have thought about our government. And I think that's a real shame, because without people's belief that government works for them, which we do, it's impossible for us to do the mission of serving you. And it's going to discourage good people from coming into government. And so I want to thank the many members of our team who have contributed to this and who do this work. And I want to thank all of you. For those of you who came to speak, I'm here to listen to you. And I thank you for having the willingness and courage and confidence to come out and share your thoughts with us, knowing, which you should know, that we will take them seriously. And Patricia will lay the ground rules. We have folks here. This is not to address individual cases. I just want to be clear we obviously don't do that in an open forum, but we will take all the information, and I promise you respond. But every one of you will get who wants to speak. We will make sure that we hear you out and respond to your concerns, and they'll inform the work of this fine commission that will hopefully conclude certainly in the next couple of months. So I thank you for being here. I look forward very much to the discussion.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Good evening. All right. Hi, my name is Patricia Williamson. I'm the Director of Outreach and Community Relations with the New Jersey Division on Civil Rights. And I am so proud to serve as your facilitator to this public listening session hosted by the New Jersey Office of the Attorney General and the Trust Commission. So thank you, Attorney General. Thank you, everyone, and thank you all for joining us tonight. Before we begin, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping notes. Tonight's session is being recorded to ensure the Commission can accurately reflect and incorporate public feedback into its discussions. If you would like to make a criminal or civil referral or are seeking assistance regarding a specific matter that you or someone you know may be facing, you may step to the side on this side, and staff from the Attorney General's office will assist you. You can also visit our Trust Commission webpage at njoag.gov/trust, where links are available to submit referrals. For other questions, feedback, or concerns not related to tonight's session, please contact our Office of Constituent Services on our website at njoag.gov. We will ask that all comments remain respectful and focused on the themes of trust, transparency, equity, and public accountability. We're here tonight because your input matters. Representatives from the Commission want to hear directly from you, your experiences, concerns, and ideas to help shape a government we can all trust. There is a second listening session in North Jersey on Thursday. We appreciate all who have come out to speak on this topic and those who have come out to listen. For those who signed up to speak, you've been assigned a number based on the order in which you registered. We will call speakers up in small groups to approach the microphone, which is here. When your group is called, please come forward and form a line right in that area. After you've given your remarks, you're welcome to either proceed to our holding room, again, you'll head out this way, where officials are available for follow-up questions or additional conversation, or return to your seat to listen to the rest of the session, or you may also leave the session. We ask that all speakers keep their comments to 3 minutes. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. So everyone has an opportunity to be heard. Time cards will be presented by our timekeepers sitting right next to you at 1 minute left, 30 seconds left, and end time. To maintain a safe and constructive environment, we ask that speakers refrain from using profanity, hate speech, or sharing explicit or graphic descriptions. If needed, moderators may step in to redirect or conclude remarks. Thank you again for being part of this important dialogue. With that, I will turn it over to Whitney to begin the call-ups.
Thank you, Patricia. At this time, we'd like to call up numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you would like to come make your way forward here, and feel free to take a seat in this front row as you wait your turn. So number 1, feel free to step to the mic.
Don't start the clock yet.
Okay, no. We'll start when you start.
We're used to this in city council meetings. I try and stretch out 3 to 4 minutes. But anyway, my name is Troy Oglesby. I'm representing Agents of Change in Camden City. As you know, we have a lot of problems with coming out of Camden. And Camden City has been one of those things that I believe this commission is probably formed for the most. But in looking at the name, transparency, reliability, and trust, a lot of that comes from communication. We really have to have great communication. I'm here to say to the commission, I have a few people that are agents of change. Can you stand up from Camden? Keith Benson, Smothers. We've been in this fight over 45 years. I'm retired law enforcement, and I've been doing my best out of my own pocket with other people. I call Lindsay probably once a month. I admire you, Mr. Placken. I admire you so much. I've supported you in your efforts. I've attended your appearances in Atlantic City. Anywhere where there's corruption, I've been there. I'm a member of the National Action Network with Reverend Al Sharpton. I work with Benjamin Crump worldwide. I train de-escalation for police departments across the country with Lester Ryan, who's a former prosecutor, internal affairs officer, and a trainer for the police academy for over 30 years, and retired 18 years in the prosecutor's office out of Camden. Our system in Camden is dysfunctional, and we need this commission to trust us through regular communication. These are the people that I trust. I put my integrity behind. I've done it for over 40 years. I know who is capable of switching sides, being on the fence, and this group that I'm telling you is not that group. We are specifically looking for results. We can tell you where the problem is, and I think every one of these problems can be solved. And we can only do it with the people that have authority, because that's where the line always fails, the community agent changers. We fail because there's nobody that has the matching integrity to take on the giant. And we need some Davids. We need some Davids today. So I hope this commission will really look to communicate with us. And since this is recorded, Troy Oglesby, 856-655-8910. That's my personal cell number. I answer it for anybody. So I would call, and if you call me, I'll call you back and I will answer it. We have that type of integrity.
Could you say your number again?
Yes, it's 856-655-8910. And we will make ourselves available to at any time to solve the problems that we have in Camden City. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate your help.
Thank you, Mr. Oglesby.
Two.
We'll take our next speaker.
This is not my strong suit. I'm not used to doing this at all. My name is Laura Kelly, and I am the regional chair for the Family Support Planning Council for Camden and Burlington counties, and we serve families that have loved ones with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Just a moment, Ms. Kelly. I don't think we can all hear you.
Closer? Is that better?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, thank you.
All right, sorry about that. So first, I just want to say thank you for your courage in trying to keep New Jersey this awesome, diversified state that it is. My family's lived here for 100 years, and it truly is a great state. I love it. So this is my daughter, Alexa, who's 36 years old. And often people like Alexa that are served by the Division of Developmental Disabilities with community providers are victims of crime that often do not get justice. So there's 25,000 people that are registered with the state. About 8,000 of them live in residential settings. And the staff that serve them are often well-meaning staff, but they're not supported in these roles. And many individuals have really complex levels of care. There was recently a 5-part investigative series that was published in the Record, the Bergen Record. You're familiar with it? Okay, I have some things here, and there's an urgency of care that has recommendations about investigations. Investigations are often led by the agencies themselves, and if they're really bad, then they get transferred to the Department of Human Services, and they have the ability to reach out to the AG's office, but that seldom happens. And people do die under their care. Untimely deaths occur in this population. And then there's also the addressing of the money, the Medicaid dollars that these agencies are paid to render services that they don't render. So in my eyes, that's Medicaid fraud. I've reached out to the Medicaid fraud division and nothing. So there is some current legislation on the table right now at Senator Vitale's office that's trying to move some of this forward to just something. There was a report back in 2014 done by Records called Overlooking Oversight. And the professor who led that study was working with his office to create legislation, but that was published in 2014, and nothing's really changed. So I'm just here to heighten awareness about this population. There's very seldom public outcry in regard to this. I often think if this was cats or dogs, there would be a huge outcry. And many of the individuals, especially the residential ones, are unable to have family advocate for them. So thank you again, and can I give you my folder?
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. She'll take your folder. Mhm. Thank you, Ms. Kelly. We'll go with number 3, or the next speaker.
And 4, 5, and 6 can start making their way forward.
Good afternoon, Attorney General Plankton and members of the board, through the Trust Commission. Thank you for coming to Rowan College today. My name is Michael Henry, and I'm proud to serve as a senior lead the facilities department here at Rowan College. Hope you have found that our campus is welcoming and clean. It's a reflection of the pride we take every day at our work. You can thank my team for the environment in here today. But I'll be honest, what's happening here goes far beyond clean hallways and manicured lawns. This college, a place that should be about opportunity, growth, and service to the public, has been shaken. Not by the students or staff. We show up every day ready to do our part. It's been shaken by political interference and corruption, and frankly, we're tired. This isn't rumor or speculation. It's been reported in the press. It's been documented. We watched last fall as the Board of Trustees tried to force out our president, Dr. Ciosi. Not because of his poor leadership, but because he tried to stand up against this malfeasance. He stood for integrity, and for that, they tried to get rid of him. Thankfully, they didn't succeed, at least not yet, but the damage was done. The Board of Trustees has ignored our votes of no confidence. They stopped holding public meetings for 3 months, breaking state law, until they could stack the board with allies that would do their own bidding. Once in power, these new members overturned publicly bid contracts and dismissed longstanding board rules. And through all of this, no law enforcement was silent. How are we supposed to believe in the justice system when it feels like people with power and connections play by a different set of rules? For those of us who dedicate our lives to serving this institution, who care deeply about these students, many of whom are just looking for a fair shot, the silence has been deafening. It feels like we've been left behind, abandoned by those who are supposed to keep all of us honest. The college accreditor has taken notice. They've demanded reports on ethics, leadership, and governance. They're watching, but we need more than just oversight. We need you. If I could leave you with just one message today, it's this. Please take political corruption that's happening here at RCBC seriously. Enforce the laws that already exist. Prove to us, your citizens, your voters, your neighbors, that the rule of law still matters, regardless of your political connections, that integrity still matters, that someone who is in a position to do something is watching. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. And we thank you all as you're coming. I know the next group is coming forward. We thank you all for being respectful of the time, and so other people will have that same opportunity to speak.
Yes, 4, 5, and 6.
Ready for 4, 5, and 6.
I think 4 might have stepped out, so 5 can approach. Thank you.
You can come this way.
Come right forward. Thank you. Feel free to take a seat now.
Good evening. My name's Ira Eckstein. I'm not really associated with any organization. I live in Gloucester Township. Because of, I attend council meetings twice a month, and a small group of us have kind of formed a little, well, we fought the machine last year. The township tried to sell our sewer system to the company that the mayor works for, who said he had nothing to do with it, but he was in charge of the department that purchases sewer systems and water systems. And they had to put a referendum on the November election, and we defeated them by 80%. We had 80% of the votes to not sell the sewer system. They spent $1 million, over $1 million, advertising to get residents to vote yes. We spent $2,000. What it comes down to is there's no accountability. Nobody's held, there's nobody that you can talk to and say, hey, this is wrong. We need to change this. We went to Camden County holds township meetings, town halls they call them. And a young lady is going to follow me asked the question, who holds the people like in the township accountable? And the answer she was given was, vote them out. That's gaslighting. That's not giving a straight answer. And that's the whole problem everywhere. It's not just Gloucester Township. So, I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Eckstein.
I don't want to say the wrong thing.
We appreciate your comments.
6.
I'm short. Hope you can hear me.
You might want to turn that down just a little bit. There you go. Perfect. Wait, right.
Okay.
Some of us relate to that as well.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for holding this listening session and for giving people like me a chance to be heard. I'm from Gloucester Township also. Our residents are not just losing trust in government, they're being stripped of any tools to hold it accountable. For years, I've watched my neighbors try to engage and try to care. They show up to council meetings, observe, and walk away saying, I'm never coming back. Not because they don't care, but because they witness bullying, intimidation, and gaslighting. Our council regularly dodges real questions with scripted, meaningless responses. They answer questions with questions. They turn their failures into our failures. They question our intentions. They demand names, addresses, phone numbers, and emails just to consider answering some questions. They create a chilling effect for anyone afraid of political retribution. Our boards and our commissions are stacked with people who are politically connected. Loyalty, not qualification, is what gets you a seat at the table. Residents who support the ruling party are rewarded with political patronage jobs, while those who speak out are shut out, dismissed, and punished. I was once told, as Ira previously said, at a Camden County Commissioner meeting, that our only recourse was at the polls. But even that doesn't work. If anyone dares to run against the current regime, phantom candidates appear out of nowhere. Candidates who don't campaign, don't show up, and seem to have endless funds for mailers. Even if you win, they'll take you to court and try to say you didn't. It's far from a fair fight. It's a machine, and the people who are under it are just trying to survive. Those of us who have stepped up desperately need help, because if we can't enforce our rights, we really don't have any. Residents shouldn't have to fight corruption alone and without any tools. Though there is no real accountability mechanisms for residents, the agencies meant to protect us are slow, overwhelmed, or unresponsive. It feels like we're fighting with feathers against tanks. And we're just asking, can somebody please level the field? We need ammunition. We need soldiers. We need a way to report the abuses that don't end with our reports sitting on desk or the responses sending us in circles. If trust is going to be rebuilt, then the people have to know that someone is listening and that someone will act. We need help enforcing our rights to representation and to petition our government. When there's no transparency in local government, there could be no accountability. Without accountability, there's no true representation. And without representation, we are not being governed, we are being ruled. And no one in a democracy should ever accept being ruled.
Thank you so much.
We'd like to call 7, 8, 9, and 10 forward.
And is number 4 here? Did I see somebody come in? I guess not. Okay.
7, 8, 9, and 10. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. My name is Keith Gibbons. I'm also a resident of Gloucester Township in Camden County. I'm also an elected member of the Board of Education, and because of that, I must make a disclaimer that all of these comments are my own opinion and not represent the board or anyone else on the board. I want to thank you for allowing the public to shine a light on our experiences. I'd like to talk about the daunting barriers ordinary citizens face when trying to challenge an entrenched political machine that dominates our elections. For too long, these systems stifle democracy, suppress voter choice, punish those who dare to demand accountability. I've seen firsthand how political machines maintain their grip on power. They don't just rely on name recognition and resources. They use tactics like phantom candidates, like we mentioned earlier. For over 15 years now, South Jersey's political operatives have allegedly deployed so-called phantom candidates, individuals with no intention of serving, propped up to siphon votes away from legitimate challengers. These tactics aren't just deceptive, they undermine the will of the people and erode trust in our democracy. This isn't a new problem, and the challenges don't end with manipulated elections. Those of us who try to hold these machines accountable often face retaliation. Speaking out, we risk harassment, public humiliation, legal intimidation, or worse. This isn't just politics as usual, it's deliberate effort to silence dissent and protect their power. I've experienced all of these firsthand. In the past few months, I was part of that sewer sale that he was talking about, and I was encouraged to run for mayor. And since I announced my candidacy, I'm dealing with not one, but 2 retaliatory lawsuits, among countless other things. I thank you for putting this together. It's a great start, but we need more. I'm really not good at public speaking, so I don't even know how I'm going to be mayor at this venue.
No, you're doing fine.
But the next one you hold, maybe when it gets a little warmer out, I would be better. So I'll just thank you for holding this. And I shouldn't even have read this. It just says thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Givens. That was fine.
Good evening. My name is Keith Benson. I'm a long-term resident of Camden, New Jersey. I'm the father of Dr. Benson, who was the long-term teachers union president in Camden City. I'm a senior fellow at Harvard. I have 24 gold records and 2 Grammy Awards. And I want to, first of all, thank Mr. Platkin and the board for having this. And I'm also so impressed with the people who have spoken, because it's really, really, really dangerous to speak out against this cabal, which is all the same cabal that everyone in this room has experience with. I would like to piggyback on what Troy was saying and say, you'd be surprised in this fight against corruption, and I know you guys are serious and you're sincere. You'd be surprised how much information you can get if you come to the city. We can give you chapter and verse, open and shut, in your face, blatant corruption that has no defense, and you can get it done in a couple of months, because as soon as the judge or jury sees it, it's game over. So I'm going to ask this commission to follow up with me. We can give you where the bones are buried to make your job easier and make our job easier. And I want to thank you. I want to hold up too much of your time. I would like to say I hope this is continued in the next administration. But even if it's not, we do have time if we move expeditiously to get this done right here and right now. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Benson. You may want to move the microphone down a little bit.
Because I'm part pygmy?
There you go.
That's okay. Hello, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. Before I begin, I just have to write a CYA. The following statements are made or capacity of a private citizen. not as a member of a school board. These views are my own and do not reflect any positions of the board or individual members. My name is Dina Hendry, and I'm a resident of Gloucester Township, New Jersey. I'm here today respectfully to raise concerns about the serious patterns of non-transparency, misuse of power, and intimidation within our local government. Some examples are hiring practices. We have seen important township positions filled without public posting or competitive processes. This raised concerns about political favoritism and whether qualified residents are being passed over in favor of personal connections. Also, public use of funds for special interests. These credible concerns that secret meetings have been taking place to direct public funds towards projects that benefit politically connected individuals or groups. These decisions happen outside the public view without accountability or public input. Closed-door meetings. Major decisions are routinely moved into executive session with vague agenda and language. This keeps the public in dark and undermines the transparency and trust within the process. Lack of OPRA compliance. Many OPRA requests are met with long delays, excessive redactions, outright denials, or even straightforward information. This is extremely difficult for residents to gain access to the records that we are legally entitled to. 5, abuse of power and resident intimidation. This one is personal. After exercising my right to speak up, along with many other residents, I was told by an official, "I know where you live. Nice people used to live there." No one should ever feel threatened or unsafe or engaging local government. Sadly, this isn't unique. Others, as you see, have spoken out about this intimidation and behavior, which is a blatant abuse of power and should never be tolerated. Conflicts of interest. We've observed patterns where the township decisions seem to benefit public officials, their families, or possible political allies through contracts, appointments, and approvals. This raises seriously ethical concerns. My ask is, this is not about party politics. This is about integrity, transparency, and public accountability. I respectfully ask your office to review these concerns and consider appropriate oversight. Also, you can like and subscribe to GT Observer Podcast, where you can see a whole list of examples of the examples that myself and many others are talking about tonight. Thank you for this time, and we all thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hendry. Good evening.
Good evening, Commissioner Platkin. Commissioner, I'm sorry. Attorney General Platkin and the commissioners and the First Assistant Attorney General, I'm excited to be able to be here to speak about this. My name is Sharonda Allen. I live in East Orange, New Jersey. I traveled down here to Burlington because I will be working with the youth on Thursday during the time frame of the South Orange meeting. I am grateful for the formation of this commission. I am a law-abiding citizen who has continued to serve the children in my community as well as across the state of New Jersey. In 2019, I established a nonprofit organization, Operation Grow Inc., after a grotesque incident that I was subjected to that resulted in defamation of my character. I am requesting that this body provide justice for a corrupt attack that was waged against me. There is a school district that is guilty of various violations, and I'm hoping that you can swiftly provide justice and relief for me. My case came across your desk, Attorney General Platkin. But as I mentioned, the corruption forced Board of Education members, whom are appointed, to violate state laws, as well as my union rights, and sign off on the case without due process. And even worse, while I was out on federal medical leave of absence. I need to have my situation fixed immediately. I thank you in advance for your righteous adjudication. I look forward to speaking with someone tonight to get these gross violations against me overturned. I understand that I need to go to that direction. Who do
That's
I follow?
right.
I'm going to
Yes.
follow you. I'm going to get my bag. Thank you for your time. I can't believe I didn't meet the buzzer. How many
Thank
how
you,
many
Ms.
minutes do I
Allen.
have left? I got a minute left. Okay, good. That was a Thank you. But I want to say that I hear people in southern New Jersey talking about corruption. We have a lot of corruption as well in northern New Jersey. I had someone who works for City Hall to tell me that she's going to call the cleanup crew for me because they like to take the trash out. So when someone said there used to be nice people living here, I've been subjected to abuse from municipal employees as well. And I think that it has been long overdue for the corruption in New Jersey to stop. When people feel that they're connected, when people feel that, you know, you're a little guy, you don't have this big group around you, because I speak up for myself. And I don't allow anyone to mistreat me. And even with the case that I need to have someone to really help me with immediately, it's because I stood up for myself. I wasn't disrespectful. I didn't use profanity or anything. I just stood up for myself the way I'm supposed to.
Thank you, Ms. Allen.
Thank you.
And if you want to just come this way.
If we can have 11, 12, 13, and 14 make their way forward, and 11 may
just-
take the mic.
Yep, and you can just come right that way.
And 11 can take the mic.
Together? Okay. Good evening.
Hi, we are going to go together, so thank you for indulging us. So my name is Susan Druckenbrod. I'm with South Jersey Progressive Democrats.
And I'm Kate Delaney, President of South Jersey Progressive Democrats. Thank you, Attorney General Plotkin and committee members, for allowing us this opportunity to speak. I was wondering if I could possibly also give you some information.
She collects the information at the end.
So on June 10th, South Jersey Progressive Democrats won in Cherry Hill. We took control of the Democratic Committee in Cherry Hill by a vote of over 5,000 to 3,000. And just yesterday, our opponents, the Camden County Democrats, filed a lawsuit against us to try and overturn the election. Susan was just served with papers today, in fact. And it's really important to share some information about this race. So in Camden County, and only in Camden County, we run for the office of county committee at large. And you have to win your entire municipality in order to have a seat on the county party. These are also winner-take-all races, by which I mean that there is only one oval, and voters cannot select individual candidates. You vote for basically a block of names. So again, this only happens in Camden County, nowhere else in the state, in any of the other 20 counties, nowhere else in South Jersey. So it's not even something I can call a South Jersey problem, it's just a Camden County problem. We've participated, South Jersey Progressive Democrats, in these races for years because as progressives, we want a seat in the party. And this year, we participated in these races with a sense of greater hope because there is a detail in our new ballot law that stipulates that there needs to be an oval next to every candidate's name on the ballot. Now, this sounds like a no-brainer, probably for most people in the state, but again, in Camden County, when we participate in these county committee races, there is not an oval next to everyone's name. So we were hopeful that there would be a change. And in fact, what we found out at the ballot draw was that the Camden County clerk and deputy clerk were not going to comply with the new ballot law. Like progressive statewide, we were part of the fight for a fair ballot. So we sued the county clerk in order to get ovals on the ballot. We were partly successful, and then we got ovals on the ballot in Collingswood, where I live, and ran for county committee. But we were not able to get ovals on the ballot where Susan ran in Cherry Hill. So we participate in these races in the way that we always have. We don't agree with the rules always. We were not, again, a fan of the county line, but we were told we had to bracket to have a line. We played by the rules. And again, we had a big victory in Cherry Hill, and now the Camden County Democrats are trying to rewrite the rules after they've lost the election. And again, we are now, as an organization, trying to defend democracy, trying to defend free and fair elections, and we very much hope that you'll join us in that. I don't know if we get 3 more minutes. Can Susan have a few minutes as well?
So 2 people?
Well, they were 11 and 12. Yes.
I did not know that.
I'll be quick.
Okay,
I'll be
thank
quick.
you.
I also want to say that we went to court when we filed petitions, and we had to pay for that. And, you know, in terms of like trust and oversight, like I'm looking at you all to have individuals not have to pay thousands of dollars for legislation that has passed to be followed. So that legislation was not followed. We did not get ovals in front of our names. So now here we are, our slate won because they set this up as a slate, and now I've got this huge packet. We'll be going to court again. We're fundraising to try to pay for our legal fees, but you know, we're regular people. We really do believe in democracy and transparency and that kind of thing, and I do think average people should be able to be on county committee. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
The information that we're leaving with you, can we give the, we also have a motion to intervene. So when we sued in order to get ovals, we sued the county clerk's office, and the Camden County Dems intervened in defense of a oval-less ballot in Cherry Hill. So they had the opportunity to do the right thing, and they did not. And then the packet that I gave you shows the ballots in Cherry Hill, that again, you have no ovals next to candidates' names, just one for a giant block of names, as well as the ovals that we got in Collingswood, the old Collingswood oval-less ballot. And then you also have a flyer with a QR code that you can scan for a recording of the ballot draw, where our deputy clerk says not once, but twice, because I asked him to repeat it, that he believes that the bylaws of the Camden County Democrats supersede the state law of New Jersey. So, again, it's an enjoyable watch. Thank you.
Thank you both. Good evening.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Is this good? Okay. My name's Dorothy Foley. I live in Merchantville, New Jersey, and I'm going to try and summarize what I wrote because it's definitely more than 3 minutes. I'm one of those regular people who actually won an election in 2023 to be on the Camden County Democratic Committee, and the only reason that happened, well, there were 2 reasons actually. One of them was that Merchantville's a really small town, and there's only 4 people on the committee, unlike the at-large in Cherry Hill with 74 people. So it was possible for someone who just had a desire to be part of the political process to get on the committee. I knocked on doors, I talked to people. I was really excited about winning and getting on committee. In that election, all 4 of the progressive Democrats in Merchantville won against the machine candidates. And I was really excited to get started. The reason I actually decided to run was because I'm an environmental activist. I'm the leader of the Green Team in Merchantville. Sustainability is my passion. And I'm a member of Camden for Clean Air. And at every New Jersey DEP meeting, at every activist meeting, at all the sustainability and environmental justice issues in South Jersey that I attended, the leadership of the South Jersey Progressive Democratic Party was there. They are not elected leaders because it's too hard to get a seat at the table in Camden County in South Jersey. I was so impressed by them that a lifelong independent became a Democrat in order to get on committee. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about my experience on the committee. I expected to have a voice in who they endorsed. We were told who to endorse. Specifically, Tammy Murphy. She came to our committee meeting. No one else. There were other people, as we know, running in that primary. No one else was allowed in that room. Someone actually came, a viable candidate, and shockingly, they were blocked from entering the building. It was unbelievable. Same thing with the governor candidate, and also with all of the county vacancies as well, we had no voice. I did bring this up at the Camden County Commissioners meeting. I was told we have a voice vote, but a voice vote isn't really a vote when there's only one person presented to you for a vote. So it was all very upsetting to me that this is the way the committee actually conducts democracy. And I think it is at the root of some of the problems. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Foley.
And thank you very much for doing this. I have great admiration for everything you do.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Jessica Cradaville, a Piscataway resident and a member of the Piscataway Progressive Democratic Organization. We are very glad you are having this hearing and encourage you to hold more, including one in Central Jersey, and more with virtual access. The opportunity for the public to get information and provide feedback to our public officials is a core issue that we've been working on. For the past 50 years, our local government has been run by one small group of people inside the Piscataway Democratic Organization, PDO. Prior to 2017, when progressive challengers ran for office and won a few committee seats, and last year when 2 progressive candidates won council seats, the PDO has been virtually interchangeable with the council and administration. Many of the committee members also have municipal jobs and other public responsibilities. We have had to force the town to comply with multiple laws by going to court, and this means our whole community is on the hook for legal expenses incurred by a small group of individuals in their quest to suppress the public's right to know. It does not build trust or effectuate accountability if elected officials are able to make decisions in the dark and put the onus on residents to shine the light. The town is an environmental justice community, but our local leaders continue to push the development of warehouses in residential neighborhoods against the wishes of residents. The lack of transparency around warehouse approvals and other developments has alarmed residents. It is worth noting that many of these projects are represented by Senator Bob Smith in his capacity as a land use attorney, which gives the impression that Senator Smith helps make these developments happen. In 2018, the council tried to deny the public the right to record a meeting about a proposed warehouse and threatened one member of the public, PPDO President Stacy Berger, with removal from a council meeting for trying to record the proceedings. With the help of the ACLU, the public's right to know was affirmed, and video recording by the public has been in effect since. This concern was exacerbated during the pandemic when many local governing bodies moved to Zoom. Our council met by telephonic conference only and refused to use Zoom or another video platform. In 2021, we drafted a voter-initiated ordinance to require all meeting materials to be available online and for all meetings to be streamed online, allow for virtual participation, and be shared on our township television station. Simultaneously, the local EMS squads organized a ballot question to establish an EMS advisory council. The mayor and council opposed both measures and foisted illegal, non-binding questions to try to use the ballot to confuse voters. We successfully sued to have these fake ballot questions removed, but not before the mayor used his column in the town's quarterly newsletter that is mailed to every home in town to claim using Zoom and creating an EMS council would cause taxes to go up by nearly $1 million. At the time, the court forced the removal of the inaccurate article from the online version of the newsletter, but the misinformation was already spread by mail. No one was ever held responsible for using the mayor's column improperly. Now they've moved our planning and zoning board meetings to be online only. Let me repeat that. Neither planning nor zoning have met in person since the beginning of the pandemic. This doesn't seem to comply with the Open Public Meetings Act, and we've tried several times to get the county prosecutor and others to intervene with no response.
Thank you, Ms. Cradwell.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to continue, you can definitely talk
We'd
to
like
one
to
of our
call
staff
15,
in the back.
16, 17, and 18. 15 can approach the mic. Thank you.
And so just as a reminder, as the next person is coming up, we definitely appreciate your comments. And if you do run out of time and you have more you want to say, we have several members of our staff that are able to continue to listen to your concerns. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Gina Register, a Piscataway resident, a member of the Piscataway Progressive Democratic Organization, and I am also an elected member of the Middlesex County Democratic Organization. In order to do our part to protect democracy, hundreds of residents came together in the wake of the 2016 election and formed the Piscataway Progressive Democratic Organization. We have run or supported candidates in nearly every primary and general election. The Piscataway Democratic Organization has responded by attacking voting rights, individuals, and key democratic platform issues. The township government and the local political party are closely connected. The public relations and communication messages that are put out under the township's banner are eroding trust in government. For example, in 2019, after the anti-Semitic attack in Jersey City, residents asked the council to display a menorah for Hanukkah, as well as a menorah for Kwanzaa, as part of the holiday decorating lighting that is on the municipal building's front lawn. This area of public property prominently features a Christmas tree. Residents, including our chairman, Stacy Berger, asked to make it more representative of our diverse community. The council and mayor refused. The municipal public information officer wrote an op-ed that attacked Ms. Berger. Scores of residents had participated in the effort to have these items added, but only one person was singled out. More recently, our school board had a shortfall and voted unanimously to raise taxes for the upcoming school year. Since this situation came up, the mayor and his allies on the council have attacked our school board members in numerous ways, all with taxpayer dollars. The mayor even issued a highly specious letter to the BOE president about the tax proposal on social media, simply to discredit her and other members of the board. It has been nauseating to watch my taxes be used in this way to attack these people who are unpaid volunteers. He won't talk to them or try to come up with any solutions. He seems to think it's okay to use one part of the local government to undermine another. There are many other examples in our town. Of course, I'm out of time. I would be happy to submit them in writing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Register. Good evening.
Good evening. My name's Darcy, Mary Darcy, but my friends all call me Darcy. And I had no idea I'd be here tonight. When I finished work, someone shot me a message and told me this was happening. And it's awesome. I want to thank everyone for showing up and for being of service. It means a lot to me. I've been in Burlington Township for 22 years, and I've seen the township change. And incredible development. And one of the things I'm happy about is that they're building affordable housing for low and middle income people. I'm on a waiting list myself. But with all of the development, I don't see any improvements in the infrastructure to support the population in the low-income and moderate-income housing. We need public transportation, and we need infrastructure that's pedestrian-friendly. I see people walking on 541 where there are no sidewalks between West Hampton and Burlington City, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous for the pedestrians and also for the drivers. With all the development, and I mean tremendous development, warehouses, housing, no one thought to put in sidewalks. I need to know that when my 22-year-old car finally breaks down, that I can get where I need to go. I'm on the phone. I work a part-time temp job for the state. Today I was talking to a man who is wheelchair-bound, who has been trying for 2 months to get Access Link to bring him to the Department of Labor so that he can get services, so that he can find work. That's enough out of me. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Darcy. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Mara Collins-Grew. I work with New Jersey Citizen Action, but I am a Burlington County resident and just had to be here tonight to especially thank you for this entire thing. It is so needed. And to thank you, Attorney General Platkin, because every day I wake up and I say, there's something to hope for. So thank you and your team for the tremendous work that you've been doing in these many, many months to fight for many rights for the people of New Jersey. We much, much appreciate that. Ironically, I wanted to raise an issue, and I don't even know if it's something that you can actually impact. But perhaps you can, because the genesis of the problem is extra security at the People's House in Trenton. Just recently, entrances were closed. There is now a new way to enter. For the life of me, I cannot imagine how anyone with disabilities can access that State House. It is really egregious. And the lines to get in to see our legislators at work, the very first day were over 40 minutes in the rain. So something needs to be done. I totally understand, as I know your office would, the need for security, but we must balance the needs of the people. This is the people's house. We deserve the transparency. It seems as though that is not prevalent in the conversation because there are more restrictions coming, is what we're hearing. And we cannot shut off the People's House to the people of New Jersey. So anything you can do in that regard, we much appreciate it. And we would encourage the ongoing education and outreach to the community, and we are happy to help in any way we can do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Collins.
We'd like to call 18, 19, 20, and 21. Also, if individuals have printed their remarks or have them written down and you'd like to submit them to our team, feel free to hand them over to myself or any of my colleagues, and we'll make sure that it's addressed. Thank you. All right. So 18 and 19, and then we'll proceed to 20 then. 20?
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Rosemary Hicks, and let me just start by saying, AG Platkin, it's good to see you again, and thank you to the Commission for hosting this event. I am a former NJEDA board member, and I just want to really speak to, I guess it's when we talk about trust, it's also visibility of citizens in under-resourced, I wouldn't say underdeveloped, but under-resourced, marginalized communities like Camden City. I'm a business owner in the city of Camden. I reside in a lovely small town called Merchantville. I was very intentional in moving my business to the city of Camden because I saw the hope in the future and the development that was available. Unfortunately, it's really not being realized for micro businesses in the city. I believe that we're overlooked a number of times. There's a lot of progress that's happening. For example, the outgrowth of the RAND Center. We have commissions of folks coming into the city saying that they're going to listen to the citizen and talk to the businesses, but that doesn't really happen. They don't get back to you. It's marginalized. And then when we talk about the growth of the city, we don't see it as terms of business owners that are looking to grow our businesses, to acquire property and land so that we own the business that own the buildings that we're working out of. Instead, we find that properties on a large scale are land banked, and we're told that that's not happening, but then we see an article in the paper that speaks to that very issue where the mayor has made comments about having developers come into the city and there's property available. But 3 minutes goes by really quick, doesn't it? And also speaking with other people in the city government, we're told one thing and something else happens. I know that a couple other folks that I know here that also spoke to things that are happening in the city of Camden. I'm not sure if I have the whole answer, but I have some recommendations. And also just ask that that you guys take another look and just sort of keep an eye out for us, what's happening or not happening, and give us the opportunity to grow our business and to be part of that Camden redevelopment, that Camden growth, and sort of talk about the economic impact of what happens and comes to the city of Camden that misses us because they forget about us. We have, just really, really quick, for example, we have the 250th anniversary of the Navy and the Marines coming through. That's 250 years where you're going to have over $1.something million people, folks coming through the city. They drive in, they drive out, they don't stop, and they don't utilize the services in the city because they're not made aware of us. So we just need a little help in just having you guys see us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hicks. Good evening.
Good evening. Hi, I'm Fred Sampson. I've been a committeeman for about 40 years, and I am currently chair of a political action committee that influences about 24,000 people in the state of New Jersey. So my topic is restoring some honesty in elections/government. Statements that lack truth can confuse the public and in effect could be like buying an election with lies. The public has a right to receive accurate information to allow an informed decision/choice. To that end, I'm recommending that no untrue statements in or on literature or media posts be allowed in the state of New Jersey. No taking out of context or half-truths of information to be put out to the public. It's distracting and it's misleading. To possibly consider it a defamation of character when lying to the public. Civil penalties could be inflicted. Also, jail time if there's enough repetition of this by an individual. The possibility of disqualifying a candidate who engages in these practices. It speaks to the character of the individual. If they're going to lie during a campaign, are they going to lie when they get into office? Big question mark. And we've all been down that road and seen that. Okay, and if you want to put a religious slant on it, it says, "Thou shalt not bear false witness." Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sampson.
I'd like to call 21, 22, 23, and 24.
Go ahead. Good evening.
I am not with an organization. I am a Camden City resident, and my name is Megan Battles. I'm here, and I found this meeting at the last minute yesterday because I'm kind of at the end of my rope of where to go because I've been fighting a case pro se for the past 3 years, and like the others have said, once you start to stand up for yourself, you become retaliated against. I have been in 4 or 5 different courts, and I have filed 11 different complaints to the ACJC. I've been dismissed, ignored, or told they don't handle stuff like that. So I'm here right now asking, because I've sent letters to your office, Attorney General, and I've not gotten any response. I've filed with the OPIA, no response. With the EEOC, they don't handle court stuff. I filed with NJDCR, I'm not a protected class. And the clerks are doing a lot of stuff, and they're the gatekeepers of the judiciary, so I feel like there should be a lot more accountability for what they do and not be covered underneath the, I guess, the immunity of the court and the judge's chambers, because it's the public who are trying to get stuff resolved, and they're paying their money to file suits and cases that they're, air quote, losing or removing documents from the paperwork, and then cases are being dismissed because it's not being done right. I have filed complaints to the Ethics Attorneys Committee. I've gotten that they can't handle it right now. I've sat in court and watched a judge tell me 2 different things, and they won't give me the recordings for that court hearing. I've had court hearings tampered with, where I know what I've argued in court, and then when I got the recording back, it's not on there. I have 2 Supreme Court appeals that the clerks are sitting on after I sent the video proof of service of what I sent to the ACJC and the court's administrators and the ombudsmans. They flat out told me they weren't going to help me anymore. So I don't know what to do, but my rights are being violated, and I need assistance. So I'm here asking for help. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Battles. We can just take you right around the side. Are you? Good evening. Eunice? And, and then in your case, you might want to bring it down like I would. There you go. Yeah. Okay.
How's that? Okay.
That's good. We hear you.
Okay. Good evening, Attorney General Matt Placken and members of the Trust Commission. My name is Antoinette Miles. I serve as the director for the New Jersey Working Families Alliance. We are a nonprofit advocacy and political organization dedicated to making state and local government work for working people and not just special interests. I'm also a resident of Camden County, and I grew up here in Burlington County in Willingboro. So thank you for coming to South Jersey. I'm here tonight because our democracy faces a crisis of trust, as you know, and I wanted to highlight just some of the ways in which New Jersey Working Families Alliance has been fighting for more transparency to protect our democracy as we watched, frankly, our lawmakers systematically dismantle the guardrails that do so. In 2023, the Election Transparency Act was passed in Trenton, and it opened the floodgates for money in politics while weakening pay-to-play protections. Just last year, public records disclosures and ELEC reports show that public contractor giving has exploded to $3.5 million from firms to political party entities. In 2024, the gutting of the Open Public Records Act made it harder for residents to see what their government is doing behind closed doors, and even made it possible for some municipalities to sue their own residents by simply being able to call them harassers. And over the last decade, New Jersey Working Families Alliance has also been at the forefront of calling for accountability on tax credit and incentive programs that have funneled billions of dollars to politically connected businesses and power brokers with minimal oversight and accountability to taxpayers. These are just a few policies or recent examples of broader political culture that has made New Jersey synonymous with corruption and cronyism. Conflicts of interest are everywhere, and so I wanted to offer at least 2 examples of how we can solve this issue. Number one, we need to make sure that, similar to our gubernatorial elections, we begin to publicly fund our legislative races as well to even the playing field. We must make our state legislature full-time to influence and to limit the influence of outside money into our politics. We need stricter reporting requirements for super PACs and special interest groups. And we also need to limit the revolving door policy. You should not be able to leave Trenton on a Friday and go to work for a lobbying firm on a Monday and being able to work on legislation that you previously worked on while you were in Trenton. And the last thing that I want to say is that many have pointed out how this has extended beyond our state legislature in all areas of public service and local officials and boards. And so right here at Rowan College of Burlington County, for example, there's a member of the college board who works for MQ Strategies that has taken on calling out and threatening community leaders who refuse to bend the knee to power brokers' wishes.
Thank you, Ms. Miles.
Thank you so much.
All right. Remember, all the things that you've written, you can submit them to us so we can have the full pack. You can submit them. Thank you.
We'd like to call 26, and then also a few numbers that didn't come up that are welcome to come forward. 4, 19, 23, and 25.
Is there a name for 26?
Ms. Jones?
Ms. Jones? All right. It's
Take your time, take your time.
there's no middle aisle, so it's okay. Good evening. Good evening.
Thank you for your presence. I want to also say thank you for picking such a cool atmosphere on a hot day. That's how important this is, that you have this crowd coming out on this heat. My name is Aaliyah Jones. I am from Camden, New Jersey. I first want to start off with the definition of truth, which is a play on the word trust. The quality or state of being true. I would like to say that I, Aaliyah Jones, a resident of Camden, New Jersey, do not trust my officials in Camden City. Point being, I just ran here from a meeting that was housed at Camden County Municipal Utilities Authority. It says, call out for Waterfront South residents. This is a meeting from the result of EMR fire of February 21st, which is the 6th fire in that area. Trust, again. They had since February to call the community to come and have this meeting and speak to residents about the MOU that's on the table that does not include the residents who was displaced because of the 6th fire at EMR. They held this meeting and had this in June when we had this incident in February. It's a tactic they use because they don't want us to come out here and tell you that we don't trust them. Had it on the same day and the same time. This is something that they do a lot, where they have city meetings and school board meetings at the same time, hoping that they could separate the community, hoping that they could defer us from coming out. I want to say with God's will and with the importance of all your presence, I came from that meeting straight here. Skipped dinner time, preparing it for my family, taking care of my disabled mother, because that's how important it was to come to you and tell you to your face that I personally do not trust my city officials. That goes with Mayor Vic Karstoffen, that goes with my Councilman Ward 1, Councilman Arthur Barclay. Some of these people are getting paid from EMR, hence the fact that they defer our meetings and cancel them and do not hold them accountable. I'm here to let you know that when you go lay your head on a pillow tonight and you trust in the fact that you can get a good night's rest, I cannot. Because it's not if, it's when EMR has another fire. I totally tremble at night worrying about the 7th fire, because it will be one. The loopholes in the laws have got them going this far. The paid politicians in their pockets got them going this far. I cannot wait to relocate. I'm begging somebody to come to our city. I'm begging you. And please do some research and do some investigation in the city officials' involvement with the EMR fire. This is way more than environmental racism. This is paid for play, and people's lives are at stake. I appreciate you, and God bless you guys, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Jones.
All right, just last call here. If 4, 19, 23, or 25 would like to step to the mic.
And I'll just mention, if you've already spoken, and we didn't mention before you spoke that what you have in writing you can submit, I just want to remind you that you can do so. If you'd like to submit that today, you can submit it to one of our staff members, and we'll make sure that the Trust Commission receives it. If you'd like to email it at a different time, just stop by and let us know, and we'll make sure to get you to the right place. Okay, Well, seeing no one else coming to the front, I think we are finished. And so I just want to thank you for your participation on this 100-degree day. There is one more.
Oh, sorry, I just want to say.
I was going to talk to you.
Yeah.
I was certainly
Yeah.
going to talk.
No.
I'm going to say thank you and goodbye, and thank you. And so now I will turn it over to the Attorney General.
Yes, I wanted to thank Patricia first and foremost. Those of you who don't know, we superseded the Patterson Police Department 2.5 years ago, 2.5 years ago, yes, a little under. And we held a session like this in Patterson in St. Luke's Baptist Church, and Patricia moderated for 4.5 hours and didn't sit once. So she has been an amazing facilitator of many of these sessions. I just want to close by thanking our commissioners for being a part of this hearing and this commission. And for those of you who have stayed, I want to thank you all for showing up and for being willing to speak out. As I said at the beginning, we are here to listen to you, and we take it seriously. And the general concerns about our government working for ordinary folks is what drove me to get in public service. It's why I'm still here. It's why I know these folks are still doing this for free on their own time. It's why the folks sitting here who work in our department are here. It's the most critical thing we can address, and clearly there's a lot of issues to work on. So I thank you sincerely for coming. Please know that we're not here for a show. We are here to listen, and there's follow-up that will happen if you haven't already spoken to someone. They're here for that follow-up on individual matters, and on more systemic issues. That's what this commission is meant to address and will address. And my hope is, I think we all love this state. It's a state that has an unfortunate reputation for enabling corruption. I think we've made some great strides, but I think there's a lot of work left to do. And my hope is that this commission and the work of our office and the work that many of you are doing will continue to make this state one that we can be proud of. And at a time when cynicism is at an all-time high and trust in government is at all-time lows, those aren't my opinions, those are facts based on many, many surveys and polls. My hope is that we can set an example for how we can do things the right way, how we can build trust in government, how we can be responsive to the people that we're sworn to serve. So I thank you for coming out. I thank everyone who helped facilitate this. Is there somebody? Oh, I spoke too soon. We got one more speaker.
Thank you, General.
Okay.
I appreciate that. And we have one more at 27 we'd like to call forward.
And since I won't speak again and make you hear my spiel again, let me thank also the prosecutor, Bradshaw, for not just coming, but staying. Whitney, Sarah, Hannah, Sharon, Yolanda, the whole DCR crew, everyone who helped put it together. Thank you all, and please know we're going to continue to listen.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Lachey Harris. Thank you all for your time. Thank you guys for this opportunity for us to come and speak in front of you. And I apologize for my tardiness as I am coming from the city of Camden, where we were being hosted by our administration regarding an environmental injustice, one of the things that I wanted to mention today. And so yes, again, I appreciate the opportunity to still be able to speak in this late hour. So being a born and raised resident of the city of Camden, and obviously, as you just mentioned, Mr. Blackton, that there's a lot of corruption in the state of New Jersey, and I think in Camden City, there may be a more how can I say it nicely? I think there just may be a large occurrence of corruption in our city, particularly, as again, like, as you mentioned, there is corruption all over the state of New Jersey. I think that in the city of Camden, as a young person involved in politics, being able to see firsthand, one, as having a lived experience growing up, and then to now be an adult, a conscious adult, to be able to understand exactly and deliberately what's happening to us and why we are suffering in the city of Camden. So whether if it's in regards to our education system, we certainly need to figure out how can residents or our community obtain local control, as our school district is currently facing a $91 million deficit. And I apologize if there are any other residents who may have already mentioned some of these things already or previously. But again, as a graduate in year 2012 and understanding the things or the lack thereof resources that I had, and then to now be an adult looking to eradicate some of these things, I understand to the degree in that it was corruption that played a large part of why we didn't have the resources and why that is still existing still existing today. And so, and sorry if I'm talking fast, I just totally feel like everyone was ready to go, and then now I'm just coming in here. So thank you so much. But second to that, in regards to our leaders in power, we have so many people who were elected to represent our community, and they certainly don't appear to just enact or engage with our community in a way to where it sees the residents are getting the best case scenario. So for instance, as I mentioned, coming from an environmental injustice meeting, as we have had 6 fires from EMR, and there has been little to none regulation over these fires, our administration just was telling us how we're gonna accept $6.7 million, and half of those million has to go back to the company of EMR. And so really there's nothing for residents to receive that $3 million they're trying to allocate to the immediate or the nearby location of EMR, but individuals in Philly were able to, sorry, I didn't even know
Finish your sentence at least.
Yes.
The
Individuals
sentence.
in Philly were seeing the benefits or the hazardness of these fires. And so the fact that, what I just told them literally 25 minutes ago, that this is a cop-out, we certainly should not be accepting $6.7 million. If we were talking about per fire, maybe that would be acceptable, but we have had 6 fires and there's actually still no mandates or no true accountability being held to EMR. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. We're so glad we got everybody in. We thank you for making your voices heard, and we thank you for staying and listening. Is there anything else from the good of the group? Okay, seeing none, thank you so much. We'll be back again on Thursday at First Baptist Church in South Orange, and we will be recorded. So thank you so much. Have a good night.